Let us stand up in silence and respect, saluting millions of mothers whose blood cemented our national foundation. We vow to protect our nation. Oh, land of milk and honey, and hardworking people, upon us united in peace and harmony. The nine valleys, forests and mountains shall be our sources of joy and pride. So Lord bless South Sudan. Oh God, oh God, oh God, oh God, oh God, we praise and glorify you for your grace upon push, the land of great warriors and origin of the world civilization. Oh push, arise and shine, raise your flag with the guiding star, and sing a song of freedom with joy. For peace, liberty, and justice shall forevermore reign. So Lord bless South Sudan. So Lord bless South Sudan.
Fill down there.
Well, first, yes, we are going to check, make sure the seats are the same ones. Okay? They have been tampered with. Black pen. You have black pen?
Pedal.
There's a black one. Is it yours?
No. Okay. January 15th, okay?
Last day of opening.
The registration books go to the identification officer.
It's not here yet.
No problem, it's here.
Oh, the nice here.
The stamps go to the ballot.
Who got the
Paper
stamps?
issuers. What's that?
Who got the stamps?
The ballot issuer.
Ballot issuer.
Okay.
That's Mary. Ballot
this one, I can
issuer.
have one.
Mary is a ballot issuer.
Why? You said instead of me saying it.
Because Mary is asleep
Okay.
behind me, who is recording.
This also goes to the ballot issuer.
Ballot
The
issuer.
box, the ballot book.
That's Mary.
Yes. This
We
is
have the
Mary.
last- what do you call it?
My last ballot issuer.
Thank
The
you.
last serial number on the ballot paper. We want to make sure that nothing is really booked after that. So,
Say again.
you should have the number down, the last serial number on the ballot paper.
They didn't ask that for me. Come on, observers.
Where are they?
It's over here, so we don't have to wait for that.
No. Late.
Oh, here. So, last ballot paper number issued was this number. Just want to make sure it's the same number here. 749.
Zabanur, and then this is
0516.
a representative from the Gauss.
No ballot has been removed after that.
Oh, my hand is not that.
Okay.
No,
Good morning.
I'm holding this one and it's wet.
You guys started already?
7490516. This one goes to the ballot issuer. Mary.
Saying that one.
Continue. How are you?
Anyway, chị mà nói chiều vàng
You are rose bar now.
thời chị bảy chị bảy
Yo, you any bar?
chị quay drop at gas station
Oh.
and pick up
Remember last Sunday?
Another ghost representative from
When I
Washington.
read like something, that's the time I woke up.
Welcome.
get ready,
Morning.
Thank you. Shower. And then this morning,
But he didn't say his name.
are you not going to work? I said, come on, girl.
I'm Enoch Awejok, observer from Government of Southern Sudan Nation.
Thank you.
Okay, it's all set. We still have like 4 minutes, and we can give chance to people who just got in to just double check, make sure these are the same seals. We've not yet opened the ballot box, but we'll do that in a couple of minutes. You should have these numbers, right? Yes. Okay. Just make sure they're the same numbers. We've not yet opened this seal, and then we have a place for you to sign.
Good morning, Charles.
Good morning, Anthony.
Good morning, Mary.
Say your name.
My name is Anthony Garan, and I'm with Charles Manaya.
Morning, Anthony.
These are the seals. Yes, all the seals on the ballot box. Still the same. The seals we cut off from polling material kits. That is still there. So
I don't have any help. You guys have coffee to help you.
Okay, it's what? January 15th, 2011. It's 9 a.m. in the morning, Pacific time. Polls are open. I'm gonna break this and then confirm this with you. Polls are open, and I need you to come.
So we just opened up and there's the issue of not having seats.
Today is the last day, and I'm positively that the referendum, what the Southern Sudanese require, I've already achieved it. So I know they got victory. I'm here doing my job, and I have the feeling the same with my brothers that they already won. Thank you.
What is your what is your job position and?
I am the identifier who identify who passes through here when they come with their registration card. I check through my book to make sure they are registered and they are legal voters. When they go through here, I pass them to the card issuer so that they can vote.
So they're here to appreciate all that has been done, and well, I will turn it over to the assistant manager of the referendum center to introduce him and then say a few words before we start.
Thank you for coming. Wujula is be on his way, and I would like to welcome Pastor Matthew and all the staffs and observers to witness this day. Today is a big day, and I want everybody also have Kai days and also a happy day for us. Thank you. Pastor Matthew, go ahead, please.
I just would like to say thank you to all of you for a good opportunity God gave to you to do this thing for our country. We are very happy and very proud for all of you. And we are here today, this morning, to say goodbye to all of you. And we give thanks to God and give all this thing to our Father Almighty to work on it with the people from South Sudan, here in Europe and anywhere we are. That's what I want to say first. The first thing I want to say again is that was very nice when I hear that you are coming here on December 6th. Nyakat and I were the first people who are registered. Then I'd like to come back to first on January 9th to vote. She came here with me too. And I think that I will hand it over to her and Mother Didoy, Gaj's wife. I know you know Gaj and his wife too, Mother Didoy. Then they will say what they want to say to you. Mother Nyakat, or Nyakat, you want to say something first before Mother Didoy, and Mother Didoy will interpret you too. Thank you.
Okay. Why, when they lar, when yam. So we're not going to be alone.
He said, first thing I would say, God love everybody.
Men Raude, me back America, back I went.
First time when I came to America, I was holding IOM back.
They like a queer amulet, a queer IOM.
I'm just saying this for the person who worked for IOM.
Welcome to IOM.
You are welcoming us for IOM back. I brought food for all of you who are working here.
Bible.
I brought Bible to you. That's the food I brought to you.
Bible, umbrella, you went one umbrella, dear, and a man.
Bible is umbrella. That's the name we call it, all of us. All people in the world, their Bible is umbrella. Their umbrella is our Bible.
Chamidilla to Bieram. The talk a document who can go.
She gave you this because the Bible is for everything. You will keep it wherever you keep your documents. So that's the gift for you today.
Oh, maybe you were one which now I'm really thin. Back when it can be.
If you go and gather people and sit under the umbrella, somebody can read the Bible to you.
And he went, but I told the man down and one and unpaid people. Unpaid people, never got eating.
Our brother told you I was the first person who come here. When Gurren came, I was the first person in South Sudan to come out of Sudan.
Why did you make you put on your own people?
I don't know why I was the first person here. I did not come here to be a first person. But I think this is the God's purpose to bring me here and be the first person here.
Good, John, and me were right down with Lloyd Capibaro. Be part of me, Lacan, or back a cool billion law for the name Kitwa.
In July, when we get the result back, you need to call Pastor, and then he will tell her what's going on about our
Jan and Gura Banu, or Minda Jordan and Bialama, the best.
Yeah, this book is not its language, and it's not American language, but it's Nuer language. The Bible in your card code for you to read is Isaiah 18, talking about the quick kingdom. And it says that you are my hope, Lord. Hope in you, trust on your defense. Psalm 71, verse 5. That is Bible for you, ambassador for.
Thank you.
What I would like to say, I would say thank you, and I'm very grateful of the great job you guys did here. One hand cannot clap her hand. Two of us can do one thing and we'll be successful like what you did today. I'm very happy. I cannot even say what I want to say because I'm very, very happy about our country. I was driving 2 days ago and I heard on the radio that there was a company in Southern Sudan, Toyota company, that they're going to build in Southern Sudan. I was in tears, but nothing impossible that God cannot do. I will be happy to hear our referendum. We have our freedom, and we will live like anyone else in the world. Thank you for all good work you guys done for us, and God is greatest.
I think you will go back to work. Then we will go back to work too. Thank you, Pastor.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All the family.
Yeah, thank you.
I appreciate it.
Yeah,
thank you.
Thank you so much, Pastor, for
no problem. Thank you.
everything you have done.
You know where you will be.
Yeah.
And you will wait for results from God, from you, from anyone.
Yes.
Yeah, we'll hear from you.
You have done a wonderful job bringing everyone
We praise and glorify you for your grace upon Kush, the land of great warriors and origin of the world civilization. Oh Kush, arise and shine, raise your flag with the guiding star, and sing a song of freedom with joy. For peace, liberty, and justice shall forevermore reign. So Lord bless South Sudan, so Lord bless South Sudan. Oh black warriors, oh black warriors, let us stand up in silence and respect, saluting millions of martyrs, whose blood cemented our national foundation. We vow to protect our nation. Oh Eden, land of milk and honey and hard-working people, uphold us united in peace and harmony. The Nile valleys, forests and mountains shall be our source of joy and pride. So Lord bless South Sudan, so Lord bless South Sudan, so Lord bless South Sudan, so Lord bless South Sudan.
أنا مبسوط جدا الليلة عشان أنا نبغى عشان أنا داير بلدي يكون فيها سلام، كل أي حاجة يكون كويس. العيال بتاعنا نقوم هسه كلهم يعرف. We fight for that.
That's
for
good.
long term.
That's good.
So we want to be in peace.
Thank you.
عشان بلدنا كمان خليكم بسلام. نكون زي الناس المتطورين ناس كمان لازم بلدنا ده يتطور. كل سنة ده كل سنين كل جدودنا جاء هم بنفس الحاجة، لكن نيو جنريشن كلهم كده بعد كده يكون ببيس ونقعد سوا.
Thank you.
Arise, shine, raise your flag.
The Syrian.
Okay. They're historical. It's historical. Talking about the Gisima. Gisimu. She had a baby exactly when we said
Separation.
in Sudan.
That's my separation, huh?
Can I get a turn?
Separation.
Yeah.
Separation. Yeah, Gisima.
Sultania.
Gisima.
Separation that has made.
Who's a Gisima? Yeah. Separation. Yeah. And then Dr. Lajide. Tehina Jidi. This one here.
Like this.
They get that one being allowed them.
Thank you.
That only something. Am I ready?
Yeah, just
Colors did it have
picture. Yeah, colors did it. Thank you.
No, not yet. Don't throw it all the way. Just pretend like yes. And hold it. So that you can show the celebration when she is celebration. Yeah. He said this is what this picture is the reason why I named it celebration. Yes, you can put it in there. Yes. No. Yeah. And look.
You ready?
Look this way.
I know money.
I know.
Go ahead.
So what is your name?
I didn't know that, man.
Yeah.
All right.
Index one.
My dream was I'm planning.
So Jaspina, your mom is gonna be real happy. So there's evidence now.
Look at thumbprint over here. The right thumbprint.
Thank you.
And do the like a memorial.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. I'm giving this. Where did it go? Job?
You always say job is job.
You play con saya?
Hey, Nina's here. Hi. I think that's good. Hello.
The old saying, good enough to come over the last one.
Almost.
Good. How are you doing? Good. You did? Yeah, I know this.
Just make sure.
Okay.
So what? You're not done yet.
Okay.
What are you doing?
She's giving me another.
Oh, you can use that one. Yes. Yeah,
I miss you. We've been miss you here. You come in the last day.
Come on, man.
This is your father. Okay. You got two shot here. You got two shot here.
One more time.
And circle. You got ink divided in the left hand. And then you put your right thumb in there.
Okay.
Put one
more time.
Oh, I thought that was mine.
And then I'm going to show you how to.
Say shoes.
Wait, don't put it there. Don't throw it in here.
One more.
Wait,
Hey, is that for Queen Anne? Is that for Queen Anne?
One hand.
Wait,
Both sides.
Two of them.
All right.
One day we are going to go.
That's it.
Can you test it?
That's
Let me test it.
And then
Maureen Clark, free at last, thank God Almighty, free at last.
I'm an observer from Ghost.
thank you.
You know, when you observe from Ghost, Kingdom is coming.
Welcome back.
Should I have said I'm the bright white guy?
Oh, my name is David Godwich. I'm observer from Goose.
You are not observer from Ghost.
That's what I feel like.
I declare the polling period for referendum is officially closed.
Yay!
Rose, I thought it's supposed to be like.
No, I did the American style.
Oh.
I sure hope somebody around the world puts together pieces of this kind of thing into a film. I would love to have something like that. This is so historic. Very few times do free nations ever get to actually have a part of their freedom.
That's right.
You want to sign here too? All right. Initial, this is 9, okay? Just so that 901888. Okay. So go ahead. How many do you have there? 9 plus 12. What? Go ahead. Right. Okay. Here. Yeah, got it. You want to double check the number?
Yeah, I got it.
38.
38?
Yeah. 888. This one? Yeah, why not? Perfect. So let's give it a chance, because we're running out of space, and see if you can squeeze your signature here. That should be enough. Is that okay? Yes.
100 years from now, those signatures will be as valuable as John Hancock's.
Yes.
On the serial number, 01.
Sir, thank you.
Ojulu Ogala.
Okay, first, before I have you sign, I would want to read aloud the number of ballots issued to the ballot issuer. The 7th day of the polling, we have 84 ballots issued. We have 0 spoiled. The 7th day, which is January 15th, we issued 84 ballots. 0 spoiled. And the number of remaining ballots, 46.
We'll be back.
Yep.
What number again?
46.
46.
Yeah, this, okay. We left with 46.
Yeah.
Unused.
No, there was noise. I didn't hear.
Okay, yeah, that's fine. And then the number of people who voted today is 38. And then name and signature of observers. We have a small space, so you have to decide who goes where. Somebody else? That's red? The red or
No,
red?
black.
Ma Ojulu Ogala Kalaskele.
Yeah. Go ahead.
That's evidence. From Ojulu
That
Ogala.
is evident.
Yeah, from Ojulu Ogala.
No, I don't want to take it.
We're going to start our counting procedure, but before we do that, there are some set of rules that we need to abide by. First of all, no cell phone use is allowed inside the referendum center. It will be better if you can put it on vibration mode or put it on silence. For the polling referendum center staff, once you leave the referendum center, you're not allowed to come in. But for the observers, you can leave and then come in if there is a need. But then we don't encourage back and forth movement. Some things have changed a little bit, and I will just walk you through them so that we're all on the same page. In regards to the filling out of the forms, we have the state name, as you can see here. It still remains as USA. And then the county, locality name is Seattle. referendum center name is International District. The code for our referendum center is 3402911.
And at this point, we have to add in our 2 registration stations. And so there's no confusion, because during registration we had 2 stations and then they got combined into 1 polling station. So we have to put down
3402011 for station 1 and 3402012 for station 2. Okay. Where is that?
I'm going to ask you to say that a little louder.
Oh, maybe let me stand up. A little louder. What I just said, right?
When you're reading off numbers, at least.
Oh, okay. But so far, did you get the message?
The referendum center code, is it?
3402911.
Okay, that's all. And then you said something about something else after that.
Yes, during the registration, we had 2 stations. If you remember, there was station 1 here.
Yes.
The number for that is 340211. That needs to be added so that they know that the 2 former stations are now combined into 1 polling center. Yeah. And the other center station name code is 3402012. So basically, the 2 stations we had during the registration are combined into 1 polling center, and that's why we have this number 3402911.
Thank you.
Oh, we want to look at those, yeah.
Nothing in there? Oh, yeah. There you go. Okay. Before we bring out the ballot box to count the ballots, we want to agree on certain rules as to how we are going to determine the ballots, or how we're going to count the ballots. I'm going to pass this around while I explain. Just take a look and then pass it around. We're going to have 4 different stacks of ballots. We're going to have a stack for unity. We're going to have a stack for secession. We're going to have a stack for invalid ballots. And we're going to have a stack for unmarked ballots. Okay? Now, this is an example of what a valid vote looks like. The most important thing here is to determine the intention of the voter. If we can determine the intention of the voter, it means that the ballot is valid. Like, for instance, here, well, we have apple and banana. That's not the case here. This is just an illustration. So like here, you have a thumbprint here. This is clear. The choice is banana. Here, it's clear that the choice is apple. Well, this is what our ballot issuers were explaining to voters when they came to cast their votes, to mark the circle. But then sometimes this does not happen. So if a voter does not mark the circle, but instead marks the actual symbol, and it's clear which symbol it is still a valid vote. Okay, like in this case, instead of marking the circle against the banana, the voter here marked the banana itself. This is still a valid vote. The same applies to this one. Here, instead of either marking the circle against the apple or the apple itself, the person marked the actual writing. This is still a valid vote. Now, lastly, you may have a voter that marks the two together, makes a mark on the circle and makes a mark on the symbol or on the writing itself. As long as it's one of the two options, it's still a valid vote. Okay? So these are examples of a valid vote. Now, we have invalid votes. When a voter, for instance, marks the two circles together, we cannot determine the intention of the voter. So in this case, this is a invalid vote. The same applies to this one. A voter marks the space between the two circles. You cannot tell the intention of the voter. So in this case, the ballot is invalid. And in this example here, you have a voter marks the circle against the banana and then marks the apple. This is an example of invalid vote because you have marks on either or both of the two options. And the last example is like a voter marking the two symbols simultaneously. You cannot tell the intention of the voter in this case. So this will be considered, any of this will be considered an invalid ballot. Now, there is a possibility that a voter goes behind the screen and does not mark any of the circles or any of the two symbols or any of the writings. In this case, this is not considered an invalid vote or ballot, but it's considered a blank or unmarked ballot. So we're going to have 4 steps. At the time of the counting, I will pick up every vote, make sure that it's valid by showing it around to you, making sure that there's just a stamp on the back and everything, and then we will all get a chance to see whether this is a ballot casted for secession, unity, or unmarked. But then sometimes we may differ. In some other instances, some things may not be clear. Unfortunately, it's not open to discussion. We can differ, but then the final word rests with the chairperson of the Referendum Center, which is me. Is that clear? And that's it for... we may just go and grab the ballot box and start counting procedure.
Is it okay to close the door now?
You could close it? Sure. If it's too cold, yeah, close it, sure.
If I'm beyond this line, but let me know. If I'm not loud enough, there's something that you don't see well, just let me know. But we just want to make sure that you are following every step of the process, but then you cannot just come beyond the partition here. So before we start the counting procedure, I will just want to double check that the 4 seals we have on the ballot box are the same seals that we've had for the past 7 days. And you should have them in your journals or on your notebooks. I have them here.
On this form, the first thing we need to fill out is the number of registered voters. And this was counted earlier. I mean, it was counted every night. I think the observers got the number of people that voted each day. But number of registered voters, for those of you who don't know, the people who came during the registration period, the total is 571. So, he needs his pen back.
Yeah.
So at section 1, letter A, total number of registered voters is 571. And then you can fill in the next blank as well, because the 2 people working on the registration book counted up the number of people who came and voted every day. A line was drawn through their name, and a number was put by their name to give the date when they voted. People who voted today have a 15 by their name, because today is the 15th. And people who voted yesterday have a 14 by their name, and going backwards to the 9th when we started. Anyway, the grand total of people who came and voted, and so who are marked off in these books, is 545. And so we have a total, that didn't come out too well. We have a total number of persons who did not vote by subtraction. You can tell me if this was wrong. 26.
Read the number louder.
26. Just I'm going to use this. Okay. So that's the number of persons who did not vote. 26. That's C. B, working backwards, the total number of persons who did vote was 545. And then the A was 571. So the first thing that we're determining with this form, the results form, is we're telling them how many people came to the center, physically walked in the door, had their registration card, and were marked off by Donald and Anthony, the people who voted. So we just finished that section. And then we're moving on to reconciliation, which we need to look at the ballots that are not in the ballot box. I mean, we know about the ones that are in the ballot box. We'll get to them in a moment. We'll sort them out and count them. But first we want to look at those things that aren't in the ballot box. So we need the total number of ballots received, and I'll let you report on that. On the first day of polling, we received 2 boxes that looked basically like this, except they were all sealed up. And you can tell them how many in each box and for a grand total.
Oh, yeah. In each box we have 5 ballot books. Each ballot book is 100 ballots. We received 2 boxes. So a grand total of 1,000 ballots altogether.
So that is section 2D, is total number of ballots received was 1,000. And then we have to mark in the total number of ballots spoiled.
The total number of ballots spoiled is 9.
9. And then the total number of ballots unused.
Like we said, we received 2 boxes. Each box has 5 ballot books. Each ballot book is 100 ballots. So the first box, we used all the ballot books in it. So, which means that we have used 500 ballots from the first box. Now we open the second box and we only used 1 ballot book. This is blocking the way I think this.
Okay,
yeah.
we can take it off the table for a moment. Sorry.
Yeah, that's fine. So from the second box, we've only used so far 1 ballot book. These are 4 intact ballot books. We've not used all of it. It's partially used.
What was your total?
46.
46, and that is the same number.
Mine is
yes?
46.
46.
So we have 46 unused ballots on this partially used ballot book, plus the 400 we have. 400. So it's 446.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
I can add that.
yeah. It's 446. Okay, there you go.
There you go.
Okay.
And then we look at them. I was kind of thinking of this all 3 together thing.
No,
so we'll look at the stubs.
Right.
So these were from the box that's totally used up. So we should have. We can just show them the evidence. So these were 5 books. So these were 500 ballots when we started.
And these are the stubs that remained on the different books. 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
And then we
Those are the empty books.
Empty books.
Yes. Right.
That's right. Yeah. And then by serial number we can just double check. So you should have used serial numbers through 54. or something like that. I don't know where it starts. It depends where it
This one,
starts.
yes. The serial number on the partially used ballot book is 7490501 all the way to 7490600.
So then if we look at the stub part of this as opposed to the ballots, it's 501 up to 54. Yeah, so 1 through 54 were used, and 54 plus 46 would be 100, so we're sure they counted accurately. So 446 unused and 554 used. And then we have to do this little math, and so I'll use the calculator. So 1,000 minus 9 is equal to 991.
Minus 4.
Minus 446.
Yeah, minus 446. So the number of ballots issued to voters is 545. 545. And this is so far so good.
A little louder, please.
545 for G, which is just looking at the line G, it says, it gives you how they work out the math. G is equal to D minus E minus F. So basically, of all these ballots we got in the first place, 1,000, they were spoiled, so there were 9 of those in the spoiled ballot envelope. And then there were ballots that were never used. They're sitting right there. There are 446 of those. And the other 545 are given to voters, which is the same number of people who walked through the door. So far, our physical records all reconcile. So the next thing we do is count the ballots in the box. And it should be the same as this, 545, and the same as the number of people who walked through the door, as long as nobody walked out the ballot and didn't put it in the box. So far so good.
For the observers, you've already made sure that these are the same seals that were there for the past 7 days. So I'm just going to break them open and then just dump the ballots on the tables.
You know, we didn't mention one thing. Even though cell phones have to be off, photographs and, as you can see, filming are entirely permissible throughout the entire counting process. So if you, for instance, wanted to take a picture of those, you're welcome to do that. You can take a picture at any moment in the process. Cameras are fine.
All we do is just make sure our table is just clean. There's nothing on the table. We're not allowed to have pens on the table. So I'm just going to remove the lid and then dump the ballots on the tables. Okay. Nothing in there. First thing we're going to do is stack them face down. So we're not actually counting them, but like I would unfold each ballot face down and then stack them. That's the first process.
And yeah, Donald is
going to help me.
you.
Well, I'm glad for the exception for observers.